Welcome to another episode of the Arcfluence podcast, where we talk about how design impacts the way we live, work, and invest. I'm Nick Caracan, your host, and as always, my two co-hosts, Paul Fatkins and Nino Samradic. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Hopefully the rain will stop and then it'll be a good
It's
day,
actually, it looks like it stopped. It looks like it stopped. Yeah.
It's kind of on point because we're talking about what today?
We are talking about bathrooms.
Bathrooms
Yeah,
and bed
water.
involves water everywhere.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm going to go with you on that connection because improv, you're supposed to say yes.
Sure. Why not?
Well, this is episode 10, and we are going to be talking about bathroom design, code, drawings, finishes, preferences, what to think about, what to look at, and if you're interested in doing a bathroom design, what you should be asking your architect and contractor. Guys, let's kick this off with, we do a lot of bathrooms.
Well, we do a lot of houses in general, which,
Sure.
You've all bought
We actually don't
bathrooms,
take on bathrooms, too many bathroom-only projects, but we do many, many bathrooms.
Is actually bathroom after the kitchen the most expensive investment in a renovation?
Most expensive?
I will say like room by room.
I think curb appeal is definitely going to have...
Curb appeal?
It really depends, I guess, on the scope.
well, let's say we're not doing anything exterior, interior renovation.
Yeah.
You're spending the most money in the kitchen. And then Nino's saying is the bathroom the second...
I would say primary bathroom, yes.
Primary bathroom.
Yeah.
When you say primary, this is like a master?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And really, I pause when I hear what's the most expensive, and I want to think about where are we putting the most value,
No, I see what you're saying.
right?
I see
So
what
I would
you
say the primary bathroom would be probably where you're putting significant value.
significant
in a
value,
home.
yeah.
And we're going to talk about powder rooms. We're going to talk about common baths. We're going to talk about primary suites. So I guess let's kind of dive in on the...
I was going to say, I think I got a good opener, right?
Okay.
So when you walk into a house, right, and you have 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, like, are you okay with that? Just renovate it, keep everything the same? Or what's your
okay.
philosophy with
You
bathrooms?
know my philosophy, Paul.
I know, I'm prompting you.
Yeah.
So
I'm
ratio.
I'm going to the extreme on this, where I believe you should have 1 bathroom for every bedroom you have in your house. And I know that sounds a little ridiculous to some, but we're going to be living in a world in 10 years from now where that's going to be the norm, I promise.
It is going to be a norm.
And because it doesn't have to be this elaborate spa experience unless you're in the primary suite, but we're designing homes with 2 primary suites now.
Yeah.
So we'll have like a mother-in-law suite for grandparents. We're starting to see a lot of generational living, like they have in Europe.
Yes.
So bathrooms are super important. You want a separate bathroom for your guests, or a powder room.
Yes.
So my house is 3.5 baths, and I have 3 bedrooms, right? So every bedroom has their own bathroom, and then we have a powder room for our guests if we're just visiting. But this way, if you have guests, they have their own bathroom that you can keep clean. I think there's just a privacy component also, not just a functional component, but when you have somebody that comes in a bathroom, I remember those old movies where everyone looks in people's medicine cabinets and see what they can find. Like, I want to avoid that, right?
Yeah.
I want you to have your own hotel experience when you're visiting me in my home.
Yeah.
Right. So we can talk about how when if we're redesigning your home, we want to have that discussion. We want to make sure that on the main floor there is a common bath or at least a powder room. So if we don't have any bedrooms on the first floor, I'm fine typically with a half bath.
Half bath, yeah.
But if we're doing a new build where we have a larger home, say minimum of 2,500 square foot, we're probably going to work a primary suite onto the first floor.
On the first floor, yeah.
So we might have 1.5 bathrooms on the first floor.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a few bedrooms upstairs, so we'll probably have a couple bathrooms upstairs as well.
The fact that you mentioned that having the master bedroom and bathroom on the first floor, because that building will age well, because we're getting older and we don't want to go climbing the stairs all the time. Accessibility, exactly.
Yeah. Universal design is also a big part of bathroom design too, and even the ADA standards now.
Yeah, in a commercial
changed.
world, exactly. ADA and all these clearances, grab bars, it's a key. It's a key.
And what's really cool is there's grab bars now that are for specifically for residential
Yeah,
bathrooms that are beautiful.
they are
So you
beautiful.
can make some of these standards and still have a beautiful space to enjoy.
Once again, it's like if you, especially if you invest in the properties, you would like to hit, or if you like doing short-term rental, you would like to hit as much different clienteles that you can, and having very accessible toilet, ADA toilet,
Yep.
is just gonna be beneficial. Yeah, it takes room, takes space, but benefits is gonna be much bigger.
All right, so let's start with powder rooms. Typically in a powder room, um, just some things that are just in my head typically when I'm thinking about this stuff. I don't have it, say you have beautiful wood floors in your house, right? I'm going to take those wood floors into the powder room because we don't have a shower in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's a shower, I want to see luxury vinyl. If we're doing luxury vinyl throughout the house, if we have wood floors or carpet, if you do have carpet, then I'm going to see tile in the bathroom that has showers or tubs, right? But if we're in a powder room or a half bath, we can use the same flooring, and that's going to spill into that space and just be uniform, right? I also want to kind of make it an interesting space because this is what your guests are going to be seeing. Like they're going to go to the bathroom and they're not going to have this is going to be a small space typically. We're going to have a pedestal sink. We're not going to need a lot of storage. There's not going to be places for them to snoop around.
I was going to say, if any storage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, usually you don't have any storage at all.
They're going to go in there for the toilet and they're going to wash their hands.
Yep.
And then what I kind of want to see to make this a good experience is I want to have like in my bathroom, I have this huge chandelier. So I want to see like a mini chandelier or something, good lighting. So that you'd have some main lighting, possibly some lighting over the sink, so when they they freshen up, they have good lighting for their face. I might encourage we do like some type of wallpaper, some type of trim work on the walls, something that's going to elevate that space to make it interesting because the room is only going to have a toilet and a pedestal sink, right? So we want to make that space as special as possible. We want to have dimmer switches on there. We want the lighting to be right. We want to make sure that, that it's going to be something that people are like, oh, if you're spending this much energy and focus on your powder room, what does your master suite look like? Can I see that?
Yeah.
So standard clearances apply for vanity and your toilet. So that's a pretty straightforward design there.
So when you say powder room, so is that like an enhanced half bath?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much what it is.
I would just say it's another name, just like I call
Yes.
my mudroom a scullery.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So if you're designing from scratch, what's your ideal location for a half bath?
I would say in the mudroom. So if we're entering the home from a garage, I would put a mudroom off of that. Or if you're downtown, you're entering your house from the rear because your garage is in the back of the property.
Yeah.
Maybe it's detached. Then I would say your mudroom would be back there. I would say it's in that zone, right? With laundry.
Close to the entrance, you're saying.
Yeah. So you have
Back
a
entrance.
secondary kitchen, a mudroom area, some built-ins, maybe your laundry's there, and then the half bath.
Plus, you can almost like strategically like group all these plumbings close to
Exactly.
each other. Yeah.
Yep. Next, we move to our common bath. Now, this, again, is probably going to be on a second floor. If we're doing an office space, we'll have the conversation of, maybe we have an office on the first floor. Well, I might say, if we have room for a powder room, we'll have a powder room and a full bath on the first floor. But sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just have space for one bathroom. So we're like, well, we'll make it a full bath because there's a room down there that's probably not going to be used as a bedroom, but it could be. So let's put the full bath downstairs. Maybe they make it a guest room if they don't have an office space. So that will be then a common bath. Now in this common bath, if it's on the first floor, I'm probably not going to put a tub in there because we're probably going to see another common bath upstairs. Because really my goal is I want to see, we only really need one tub in a home, right?
Yeah.
People love to take baths. That's fine, but they don't do it that often.
No.
I think the only time when tubs come into play for importance level, right, is probably like if you have a family with kids,
Sure.
bath time, that sort of
exactly.
thing. Yeah. So I think it also depends on the client and, what their life is like.
So if we're having a common bath upstairs, we're probably going to have a tub in that common bath. Probably not going to see it in the master suite unless it's a freestanding tub and we're doing an aesthetic piece.
Yes.
Or a
as well.
soaker or jacuzzi or
Yeah.
whatever. Something
Soaker
different,
or
unique.
jacuzzi.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'm using my tub is actually when I soak myself.
And I
Yeah.
try to get away from the terminology jacuzzi because it makes me think of those 1990s.
Oh yeah,
which
I
Alright,
see what
well,
you're saying.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's some new modern soaker tubs that are stunning. They're
Yeah.
beautiful, and not so bulky. All right, so if we're doing a common bath on the first floor, I'm inclined to put a shower. I'm not going to do a tub down there. I think showers with the glass, we can add a little bit more. We can elevate that look in terms of design. We're probably going to, depending on the use of the home. If this is your home, we're probably going to put tile in there. You know, we're on the floor. You know, we'll do the
Yeah.
Schluter pan. We're going to make this nice. Maybe we do a seamless thing.
Transition, yeah.
So it's more accessible on the first floor, because if you're going to move into that bedroom at some point or have a guest, we want that bathroom to be as accessible as possible. But if we're moving upstairs, less likely to, because we're going to see that tub.
Plus, usually like your kids' bedrooms are on a second floor, so it's make more sense if you
Yep.
have a big family to have a tab on a second floor.
And then we're going to look at like how many bathrooms are dedicated to the bedrooms. If we're doing a bathroom per bedroom, we're probably not going to have a double vanity except for in the primary, right? It'll probably just be a single sink, a toilet, and a shower. But if that common bath serves 2 or more bedrooms, hopefully not more.
Yeah.
Hopefully not more. Then we're going to definitely try to do a double vanity. We're going to think about linen storage. If it's in the closet, great. Is that linen storage in close proximity to that bathroom? If it's not, then we definitely want to put some type of open shelving, something like that that's going to go in the space. And we'll have that conversation. Usually I personally defer to open shelving because if it's a common bath, it's probably on the smaller side.
Yeah.
And I don't want to close off that space with like a closet unless it's like some type of nook.
I see what you're saying. You want to dedicate more space to the bathroom itself than for a storage.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's certain things you can do to make spaces feel less claustrophobic. One is natural lighting. Bring that into every space. You should have some natural light. 2 would be good artificial lighting, secondary, tertiary.
Yeah.
And then I would just say ceiling height is also an important thing. If we can get 8.5 foot or 9 foot ceilings, obviously this is much easier on a new build.
Yeah.
Or older homes on the first floor. I stay away from 8 foot ceilings. It's just not something we do anymore.
So my question, linen in a bathroom or outside the bathroom, right in front of it?
Are we talking about common baths?
Common bath.
I would say out. Because now you'll have a closet that can do a little bit more than just your linen.
Got it.
I did like what you said about ventilation and, a natural light, right? I think the only challenge is a half bath. So it's like if you maybe can get a window in a half bath, maybe it depends, right?
Right, it's not necessary.
It's not really necessary. Most probably don't have it, and it depends on like where you're facing. Maybe it faces out to deck or patio in the backyard.
That's all about priorities too. Especially, I don't want to have.
But I do like your common bath. Like your common bath, I think should have a window.
Oh yeah.
Or any of the other
Well,
bathrooms.
your powder room too. It's also kind of sometimes to get a lot of drama in a space in terms of interior design. It does want to be a little darker.
Yeah.
Right? That wallpaper.
Yeah.
Those big light fixtures. So like natural light might give a little disorder to that. So, and also too is like when we're dealing with a powder room, we might not have the luxury of putting it on the envelope of the house.
No, because you want to give priorities. You want to give light to your bedrooms, to your living rooms, to your kitchens, and all these other spaces. And as Paul mentioned, especially if you have window facing a deck, of your a bathroom, they can be like a privacy kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So majority of the time, the blinds are going to be down and closed anyway.
So anyway, exactly.
Or we do a window like that's 1 foot by 3 foot, and it's up at a 5.5 foot.
It's almost look like a transom. It's just gonna bring the natural light to your space.
No one's gonna see in. You're not gonna see out, but you'll
Which
get that
is
natural
good
light
because you can actually see your natural color of your skin. That is key. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of since you spend a lot of time staring at the mirror and just
Nino,
Yeah.
do you spend a lot of time staring at the mirror?
No, really don't. Maybe I'm married for happily married for quite
You have
long
such
now.
a handsome face. I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
Last thing with windows. Last thing with windows. Just because the window's in a bathroom doesn't mean it needs to be tempered. So,
Agreed.
yeah. So
That
there's,
is correct.
there's code regulations with this kind of stuff, and again, it depends on where it's located in proximity to your fixtures and other things, and that will dictate whether it's tempered or not. Right? How close you are to like your shower and other things.
Exactly. It's just the reason they're putting tempered so you don't fall out through the windows
Yeah.
down to the ground. So that's the only reason.
Yep.
So if it is like if you have like a really like a window with a very low window sill close to your shower, then yes, then that's gonna ask for a temper glass because you can easily fall out through the window to the outside of the building.
I guess we could transition into primary suite
Master
bathrooms.
suite
Master suites.
or yeah,
Yep.
master bath. Yeah.
I do know, like, if there's a kind of a zone right in the middle where if you have a very large house, like or you're just tight on space, I have seen some common baths have a door to the master and a door to the hallway.
I saw those too. Yes.
So depending on the circumstances, if maybe you're in an older home that's small and we don't have the room to add, we don't have the budget to add an addition, and we don't have the room to add a primary suite. So now we're going to take that common bath, we're going to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more special, and then we're going to have access to that.
Actually, I like that idea. I like that idea. So you don't, if you're a living room and you're just watching TV and I want to jump to the bathroom, you don't have to go through the master bedroom. So you can actually make that shortcut.
Well, it also kind of checks the box of
Exactly.
this does technically have a primary suite,
Exactly.
even though it's not dedicated.
Yes, because many clients prefer these days.
Right.
So just have that master suite. Yeah.
And Paul, you even have a situation like that in your house with the common bath.
Yeah.
To one of the bedrooms.
Man, before I got here, I mean, your ratio thing, like I never really gave it much thought. Oh, okay, yeah, every bedroom there should be a bathroom, right? That philosophy was completely foreign to me.
Well, you're used to.
I mean, we lived in a house that was 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Well, 1.5. We did have it, yeah. But I mean, still that bath that had the shower tub.
Did you guys
with
have a
the
very long
toilet-
queuing?
Yeah. Very long line to get in the mornings. Come on, I gotta go. So-
Especially if someone occupies the one.
Yeah. But then, like even our condo in Chicago, we only had 2 bathrooms. Thank goodness they were full bathrooms. It wasn't like a 1.5 situation. So even that, again, it was, tedious sometimes to get access. But yeah, here it's like having that extra door, having the extra bathrooms, having the ease of access, whether you're coming from a
Game
common
changer.
area or from the bedroom, right? You just close and lock the door. It's a game changer. It really is. It's a game changer.
And these little smart little clever shortcuts, and we're gonna touch bases on that, is a Jack and Jill situation. But after we actually finish
we have one of
thoughts
those
on a
too.
master
Like,
bedroom.
That's actually kind of a good step right between primary suites. So we can go into Jack and Jill.
Okay, yeah.
Again, like we have one here, and it's like night and day. Like you go without it, and then all of a sudden you switch to having one, and you're just like, why did I go so long without this?
So can you explain for the people that maybe don't know what is Jack and Jill?
Jack and Jill.
It's a fairy tale,
yeah.
right? They jumped over the candlestick, or
No, that was
No.
Jack.
that was Jack.
Yeah.
Jill, what did Jill do?
No, they went up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Come on, you guys.
Okay.
My goodness.
I know that,
My
I'm
goodness.
testing you.
and I'm not born in this country, Paul.
Yeah, I'm teaching Nino something and testing you.
All right, so Jack and Jill bathroom is essentially where we have 2 bedrooms with a common bath in the middle, and it's basically a dedicated bathroom to 2 bedrooms. There are a couple different variations for a Jack and Jill bathroom, and are we still calling it a Jack and Jill bathroom?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
There's no new terminology like primary
Yeah, and everybody
or
like
butlers or
knows it,
appliance
yeah.
garage. Nothing
Yeah.
fancy for them.
So we'll see it more in new builds for family purposes, where we have maybe we have a secondary primary suite for a guest suite, and then we have a couple of bedrooms that share a bathroom, right? And again, it's just if we know that if residents of a certain house are using this space every single day, it's not necessarily gonna be ready for guests to see it, right?
Yeah.
So we think about how we're gonna entertain. So we want to have a dedicated bathroom for our guests. We want to have dedicated bathrooms for the residents
Got it.
who are living there.
You know what it
So-
reminds me of? Like the college university days where you had the shared
yeah.
bathroom in between.
Dormitories?
Dormitories, yeah.
So,
So two vanities or single vanity? Probably two vanities.
so we actually, in a lot of cases, we'll have separate vanities.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the first thing you walk into.
Mm-hmm.
So each room will have their own vanity and sometimes their own toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And what they share is the
Shower.
and the tub. So sometimes we'll walk into this corridor where you'll be able to do like pocket doors.
Yes.
And you'll have a zone that's just a toilet and a small vanity.
Almost like a half bath,
Which is
situation.
like your own personal that's dedicated to that room.
And that's what I see many of your designs that you like to separate, especially like a toilet to be its zone itself.
Well, imagine if you have a son and a daughter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
You know,
But do you know why I like the Jack and Jill layout? Efficiency, right?
It is
'Cause like
efficient.
you said, everybody gets their privacy and their own little space, but at the same time, it's very efficient because
because they can share.
they
it.
share some aspect
exactly.
of it.
sure,
Yeah.
you can have one like nicer shower that's a little bit a better experience, and you can also potentially have a freestanding tub in front of your.
Well,
You know, your
and you don't
window.
need as much space because you're not doing two separate, completely
Exactly.
separate everything.
Exactly.
You share some,
and
some
you can
space.
bring more space to the bedrooms,
Yep.
for example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now leads us to the primary bathroom.
Yes.
The most important bathroom of the house, other than in some cases the powder room, because again, I like to really go all out on my powder rooms. But okay, so for the primary suite, this is a conversation that we want to have with our clients. We really want to flesh out, like, some people are adamant on having a soaker tub, or they're like, no, I just want a crazy big shower with all the glass, all the tile, a bench, a lighted niche, and all the things here.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on what the client wants
Yeah.
at that point, right? Because they're the ones who are using this thing every day to get ready, to get out the door. I remember one was adamant about having a pass-through closet. So it's like you literally walked through a closet
Oh, that's a
where
good
you're
point,
surrounded
yeah.
and then into the bathroom.
Relationship between walk-in closet and
Yeah.
and your master
So,
bathroom.
yeah, it was
It's
this
one of
long
the
corridor.
topics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this in the past, where if you are with your partner and you're getting, like, so Sarah gets up earlier than I do. I stay up late. I'm a night owl, and she'll get up early. I don't want her disturbing me, right? I don't.
Yeah.
Just because she's getting up doesn't mean I want my quality sleep to end at that point,
Your zone to be disrupted.
right? So I want her to step into a space where she can get ready, have her closet and the bathroom. Except I don't want her necessarily having to come back into the bedroom or through the bedroom to get to the closet. So we think about those things. To some, it doesn't really matter, right? To others, it does.
Yeah.
So we have that conversation.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So also I see on some of your projects when you actually do like a combo, you have actually very big glass enclosed shower and there is a freestanding tub in it.
I like that because if we have the space, we should do it. It does add value.
Mm-hmm.
I
It
mean,
looks cool.
my wife and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't used our not once, have not used our freestanding tub. And
But it looks beautiful.
it looks beautiful. We have two sconces.
You
that
should
flank-
use it more.
That
Yeah.
flank
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna buy you a bath bomb so you can go
We
and
have
just
we have a
soak.
circle. We have a circle window that's above it.
Yeah.
We have waterworks faucets. It is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Haven't used it once.
I know, but
I'll buy you the
it's-
bath bomb. You can go and relax.
Yeah,
Right.
but it looks cool.
Stressful day and go relax.
that to me.
Exactly. You never
Yeah.
know.
Can
You'll
it
be
be
like
pink?
Chandler on Friends, taking the bubble baths.
Perfect. Yeah, so I would say, like, this is an important conversation to have with your clients, to have with your architect, because you really need to know, like, what is your priorities, right? If you don't have the space, if you're remodeling your existing home, which we're seeing a lot of now because of the hike in interest rates, although they are starting to come down, they're like, okay, well, we love our neighborhood. How can we make this work for the next 10 or 15 years? So this is what I really care about. This is what I really want. We did do a soaker tub recently, and she wanted a skylight above it, and so we did all the things. Now, when we're putting in larger tubs or freestanding tubs, it does impact what we do with the rest of the space. So I would say it's good to have a double vanity in a primary suite. That's going to add value. That's going to be something.
Will you actually give a priority to double vanity than to have actually tub? I mean,
Yeah.
you have to have tub at least in one bathroom, but in a master suite, You will say, I will rather have double vanity than actually have a tub and a shower.
I think so. I'd want to have a slightly larger shower and a double vanity and maybe a toilet closet, like toilet closet, or nook that's private.
Like a separated for a toilet. Yeah, I see.
Rather than having a bath too, that's then going to potentially sacrifice a sink, a smaller shower, and maybe not a toilet, right? So something we have to play with.
So, do you want to now jump to talk a little bit more about lighting? Then we maybe touch bases on ventilation.
Yeah.
So, lighting, we're talking double vanity. Let's start with the master bedroom. Sconces, like an illuminated mirror. What will be your preferences?
So we're going to talk about the client's preferences in terms of design, and we're going to ask them to have a Pinterest. You know, we'll work through that. Say what inspires you, what really energizes you, gets you excited. What we're seeing a lot. I mean, sconces certainly elevate a space. We are seeing a lot of lighted mirrors for modern minimalist looks, which are great.
And you usually get like a very big mirror, so it doesn't matter. It depends on the client.
So if we're doing sconces, it's usually smaller mirrors. They do have sconces now that go right on the mirror, but you're going to be spending a little bit more for that. And then, of course, the backlit mirrors, which have come down quite a bit in pricing. They're not that expensive anymore. And then in our electrical drawings, we just need to show we're supplying power for things like that. I will say if we're doing like a rental, even like an Airbnb, it can still be an elevated look to where we're putting like a centered sconce above the vanity. So we'll have two lights rather than sometimes we'll see three sconces that go in between the mirrors on the wall. And if we're on a budget, I rather have two lights than three.
Got it.
Right? Because I can spend, let's say my budget is fixed where I have $300, $400.
And now you're talking about priorities. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if I buy three lights on a fixed budget, they're probably not going to be as nice as two lights on a fixed budget. Or we just have the opportunity to save some money, right? But I rather have an elevated look with two lights rather than, something that's not so nice with three lights in it. So I'll have that conversation. We'll think it through.
And based on the size of your master suite, you're probably going to need secondary light for remaining spaces such as shower, toilet.
And that's easy because we can do our LED
lighting. Exactly.
Yeah, and those are $10 a piece now, obviously.
And you have this we have this like a combos between like a vent and a light.
No, that's like the toilet thing with Nick. We'll get into the toilet thing with Nick.
So you like to separate them?
Everything's separate. Sconces are going to be separate. Your main lighting's going to be separate.
Lights on a fan.
Can you say why?
Yeah, your fan is
going
to be
separate. I want my fan to be a fan. I want it to be a quiet.
My wife, she'll leave it on. And like she's done with the stuff that requires the fan, like shower's done. We don't need to. So and I'm just like, the noise drives me crazy. And I'm just like, turn it off. Like I like the peace, quiet. I'm getting ready. Right, you're done with your shower. You're getting
fans,
ready.
Paul. You need to upgrade your fans.
So, I mean, there's some fans. Some fans actually
Nick.
Comes like with like a self turning on features or something like that.
They have a moisture sensor on some fans where it'll turn on once it senses moisture.
It senses more
but
moisture.
Sometimes you'll need it for other reasons that.
So when we're talking about, because I think the vent is clean. I love to spend hours in my shower, and it's usually
you spend hours in your shower.
Not hours, but good
amount of time. Yeah.
Good amount of time.
The water starts to get cold,
I usually turn my like a bathrooms in a sauna, in a foggy environment. So, what is the best location for your fan? Close to the shower, or also in between shower and the toilet, or you need maybe two fans? Can you say a little bit more about it?
If we're talking powder room, I'm putting it behind the light fixture, so it's hidden when you first walk in, and I'm putting it over the toilet.
Got it.
If we're in a common bath, I'm centrally locating it but it's probably might be scooted towards depending on where the toilet placement in the shower is. If it's lined up traditionally, like vanity, toilet, shower, I'll put it towards like maybe a third of the way towards the back, closer to the toilet.
Closer to the toilet, because smell is more important than actually moisture.
But I'll always try to hide it if I can. Not that they're not beautiful anymore, but they're. I mean, you hardly notice them, right?
Yeah, they're pretty.
I want to get something that's streamlined, that blends in, and that's quiet. If we're in the primary suite, so for example, there are some bathrooms designed with two fans. So we'll have a fan in the toilet room,
Yeah.
and we'll have a fan just outside the shower area, right?
Yeah.
So
And if everything's combined, obviously you can get a larger fan that'll exhaust more.
yep.
But moisture is the key. Like I have like a nice, really like a hardwood door, full door in my master suite, and I can tell like that the color of the door is inside, like facing the bathroom, is like a really pale comparing to the color of the door facing the my bedroom because of the moisture content. And I think having also like just a window that you can, even if it is a high window like a transom, they can actually pop it open, can also help the ventilation
Yep.
quite
But
beautifully.
Windows are not required by code in bathrooms. You
Unless
don't
there's
have to have a window.
Unless there's in older homes, if you're renovating your bathroom, that in some
If
cases
you don't have vent,
you have to have
Yeah.
an
yeah,
operable window.
then you need to have
Yeah.
operable window.
There's
If you don't
there's
have
lighting
vent.
and ventilation
One or the other.
requirements.
That's exactly what I have in my previous house.
Yeah.
I have window, but then I installed the vent just to bring the better
And
value to the
every single time I choose fan. Fan
Yeah.
is better,
Yeah.
fan is better. I mean,
especially
no
if you're on the
doubt
first
about it.
floor and
Yeah.
you have neighbors.
Yeah.
Why would you want to open the window? I'm getting out of the shower.
Oh,
I'm like,
to
I
say-
forgot. I just had a great
Yeah.
shower and
To wave
hello.
and say hello. That's
world.
why.
Hi, Steve.
I actually have this like, and I bought it in Lowe's. It was like it's kind of faint. It was like a changing colors, like a mood lights. It wasn't that bad. You even can actually, you have like a Bluetooth. You can actually listen to music on it. It's crazy, but
You had that in your old bathroom, right?
yeah, that was in my old bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely. So I don't want to seem like I'm raising my nose here, but I like to have a dedicated like Sonos speaker in my bathroom,
Yeah.
and then a separate fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
so
of course.
I'll-
If you can have everything customized, why not? Yeah.
But
We
yes.
know you, Nick. We know you, Nick.
Right, I'm expensive. I'm high maintenance.
And also, when you walk right in,
You
first-
probably have like two washing machines, one for left socks, another one for right socks.
How do you know that?
Yeah, so maybe you should, so you can never mess it up. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, you walk right in, and what's the first thing you see? Toilet, right?
No.
Do you wanna,
Definitely, he
Yeah,
hates
I mentioned
that.
it earlier.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk?
It's
talk
a privacy. That's a good
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
actually.
So anytime I go through a threshold of a space, I think about what I'm seeing. So when I walk in the front door,
Experience.
I want to see I want to be teased too. So I don't want to be slapped in the face. Well, it depends on something.
It depends.
It really does. So, but I go through this exercise as I walk through a house. I'm like, what is my experience right now? What am I being encouraged to do? Go. What spaces are going to be activated because I'm being lured and guided and directed into these spaces?
Do you know what actually historical styles is the first one that actually used that approach?
Who?
Baroque.
Ah.
Yes, that's exactly. They actually designed the spaces like the St. Peter's Square is actually designed like that. Like you going through the story.
I love
you
St.
just
Peter's
like
Square.
you just like have a beginning of the story that lures you in till you actually get to the main point and you actually experience the cupola and everything.
Yep.
So I
So-
like that approach.
So I walk into a bathroom, and again, if it's my powder room, I want to see this big experience, chandelier, wallpaper, elegant pedestal sink. But there's not it ends right there, right? It's one experience and you're done. If you're going into a master suite or a common bath, I want to see some type of beautiful shower experience. But what I'm really looking to see first in most cases is a beautiful vanity.
Yeah.
I want to see a big, mirrors that are going to bounce the light around.
So usually, like when you're opening doors, you would like to see like your vanities with the mirrors and your sconces.
That
I
would
think
be the
that's the-
number one preferred site. Line
That's
of sight.
definitely our primary thing that we try to focus on. Yeah.
I don't mind getting a hint of a freestanding tub or shower experience. And then I typically don't want to see a tub at all. Obviously, on a common bath, we're going to, it's going to be tucked in between. the
Yeah,
vanities.
it's
You
usually
don't really have a
see
choice
it.
there.
Yeah, on a very like a traditional layout is the first thing you see is a tub.
Yeah. But I mean.
But you may have a screen, some kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So like if in any other scenario, like primary suite, even Jack and Jill, or dedicated guest suite, I want to try to tuck that toilet away in a private area. So also just think about it. What if you are sharing that bedroom or that space with somebody and I don't lock my bathroom door, right?
No, neither is I.
So I mean, someone comes in.
My kids.
All you gotta say is just I'm in here. But,
Yeah.
But if your toilet's right there, and I mean, there could be some awkward
situations.
especially if it's a first floor bathroom and you don't have a dedicated guest
Oh
bathroom.
yeah,
or
like
something
for
like
example, like a 6 months of the year, we have my mother-in-law in our house
Yeah.
watching the kids. So, having this like if I can say like a privacy, it's a key. It's a key.
And my wife loves to point out that she wants to still keep it romantic, and I'm all about that. Well, if she walks in on me, might ruin.
Might take a little bit
Yeah.
of time
Yeah.
to recover,
Couple
right?
days. So I want to hide that toilet. I want to have a toilet room or
Yeah.
a toilet nook.
No,
I want some
yeah.
privacy.
And
right?
you just have burritos and stuff before.
Or maybe I just want to. Maybe I want to feel. Maybe I want to feel isolated.
Something very
Yeah.
spicy.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm also
Oh.
reading something, and maybe
So
I want to.
romantic maybe goes
Yeah.
through the window.
I do agree with you on the isolation point, because sometimes get away a little time to yourself to decompress your own
But
own
you know
space.
what, guys? When you see this, like, when you look through these architectural magazines and see these houses with the bathrooms all in glass, staring at the Alps, so you have all kinds of different
Yeah.
kinds of people. So,
But I'm glad you also brought that up, because even if you look at like marketing materials or things that are highlighted in magazines or showcased in some ways, still a majority of the time, unless it's something very unique, there's not a toilet that's highlighted
No.
in the imagery. It's sinks, it's baths, it's showers, it's closets
Windows.
and storage and
Yeah.
windows and.
And
You never see a toilet unless it's like very unique, like you said, facing a view to the Alps or
Yeah,
something.
and,
Yeah.
and if it's a primary bathroom, we will take the landscape
Yeah.
into account when we're laying out the bathroom fixtures and to capture those views, right? If you got $1 million view, you better believe I'm orientating. I'm having all the function where we're gathering to maximize that view.
Oh, yeah.
At every
Oh,
single
yeah.
moment possible.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
We're gonna be seeing that as much as possible.
Yeah.
Larger windows, more activity.
But that's all about that customization. So you're gonna see it more and more. I mean, there is more wealthy people now. It was, I will say wealthy, but yeah, pretty much who have like,
Credit worthy.
oh yeah, credit worthy, exactly. But no, honestly, I mean, look at the standards. Like, look at the houses and size of houses during the 50s, 60s, 70s. They're just growing.
Yeah.
Everything is just growing. Like before, you have like a one bathroom full size with a half bath. Now you want to have like a master suite. Now you want to have bathrooms for every bedroom. What is that tells you? Everything is increasing in the size. Then you have accessibility increasing in the size.
Yeah.
But I also love the character of
Yeah,
those older
exactly.
houses. So
Yeah.
I really do. I enjoy trying to make a modern day lifestyle and layout work in an older design,
Oh yeah,
in an older home
and
that
you
has
know,
character.
and a personal hygiene is a key. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why we don't have cholera and all this stuff anymore.
You gotta
honestly,
take
because
care of yourself.
yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up though, because I wanted to ask Nick about spacing, clearances between fixtures, stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot of time that we put into arranging the bathroom in a certain way, like especially with the toilet placement, like you talked about, trying to tuck it away right out of view, out of sight. But what are some of the clearances you like to see, like in front of a vanity, or if you have like a clear path through, like are you squeezing? Because in front
or
of a
if you have
fixture,
double
it's-
vanity, what is the minimum width of that vanity? And
well, by
stuff
code,
like that.
by
Yeah.
code, it's only 1 foot 9 inches, I think, in front of the fixture that's required.
Yep.
And so
That's
aside
tight.
from that, and yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
That is
So
nothing.
what are the clearances you like to see? The typical stuff.
Oh, this is great. We could talk about this for 15 minutes. So let's start with toilets. When you're having your time on a toilet, you don't want it to be uncomfortable.
Of course. No.
So code is only 30 inches width, right? Unless there's no other option, unless we are forced to do this, I have at least 33 inches. I try to go 36.
I think 36 is a
Yeah,
good way
I think
to
36
go. Yeah.
is the standard that I always try to adhere to.
If it's in a nook space it's a little more open,
Yeah.
still private, I might be like 33 would be fine.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're in a toilet closet, you know, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to, when I stand up, I don't want to knock the toilet paper roll off the wall.
Exactly.
So I'll go a little wider, you know, and I'll have a nice
And-
dedicated window in that space, so I don't feel like
Especially
I'm
you
in a
want
cave.
to try to squeeze yourself between sink and the toilet. That's horrible.
Yeah. Yep. In terms of vanity, I'm not a big. Everyone's like, we only have space for a 4-foot vanity, and they're like, well, I really want to have a double vanity because it'll add value. Well, I would argue with you because they do make 4-foot vanities that are double.
Oh,
double
really?
vanities. They do.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But there's zero
Countertop
there's
space.
space.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
plus, how are you gonna
frustrating.
fit two persons? Like if they're both brushing the teeth at the same times,
Yep.
they're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah. So I won't
keep
necessarily
elbowing each other.
and I won't even necessarily center the sink. I'll put it
Yeah.
to one side.
Oh, I like that
there
idea.
are
If it is like a
times-
single one, yeah, I
there-
like that idea.
There are times when symmetry makes sense. There are times when it doesn't. You know what I mean?
That's a good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
a good
sometimes
point.
the utility of the extra countertop
Yeah.
space is
But you
worth
will
it.
say double vanity should not be less than 5 feet.
Agreed. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. I'm not even a big fan on a 6-foot vanity.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing a 5-foot vanity and then just some type of custom, like maybe we have a little powder makeup station or we have a tall cabinet storage.
They kind of separates two vanities. Maybe the in between.
Yeah,
Or on
we're
the side.
We're doing less of that now.
Mhm.
We're doing more on the side.
Mhm.
It's because if we have something in the middle of a space, it tends to be that mass that closes the space off. So we
Got
try to
it.
keep it as open as
Open
possible.
as possible.
Now, if we're in a big, sprawling primary bathroom suite, then we can do custom cabinetry and get really funky
Yeah.
with it and have a lot of fun.
Which I saw several of these that
Yeah.
are enormous.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a different discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and clearances. Okay, so this is a good one. So tubs are really big for me. If we have our minimum one or at least one tub, honestly, like I only like to see one tub unless we do maybe a second tub in the primary suite. We'll have a freestanding tub. So I say no more than 2 tubs in a typical home, unless we're doing like a mother-in-law suite. But if it's the common bathtub, you're seeing 30 inches, by 5 foot.
Yeah,
right?
that's traditional. That's a standard size.
I love doing 33 inches and I love doing the deep tub. So maybe instead of spending $250, maybe I am spending I think on our UA house that we flipped last year, we did the 33 inches and it's a deep tub, taller. It's not a soaker. It's not outrageous. I think we spent $550, something like that. And I might even have got it on sale.
Yep.
But they are more expensive. But I think a couple $100 for 3 extra inches. Don't forget, you have those ledges on your tub. That space can get tight. And if it's a shower combo, I don't want that claustrophobic feel, right?
Yeah.
So I like to go a little bit bigger too on that. So 33 inches. And then, of course, if we can get a little bit taller so we can actually have a real bath if we're going to use it as a bath.
I think in general, I've noticed with you, you always try to take the opportunity to expand things a little bit more. You always want to have a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a breathing room.
Yep.
You don't want things as tight as, a standard size as tight as it goes. You always want a little bit of extra.
Yeah,
So-
because even if we do, let's say we go 5.5 foot wide on a common bath, we'll still do a 5 foot tub. We don't want to pay
But you're gonna provide some extra, like a
Like a bench.
Bench.
Actually, no. If we have a tub, I won't do a bench. I'll probably do a ledge.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do the ledge on the toilet side. So now when
I
when
see.
you're
So you have
walking-
more clearances.
yeah, now you have more clearance for when
Got
you're getting
it.
in the tub.
Makes sense.
And then now instead of spending money on a niche, we have a natural ledge that we can tile that
Yes.
costs us pennies.
Yes.
And you can put your shampoos and stuff up there.
And stuff there. Yes.
So I mean, yeah, it's just something that I do, and
how you take advantage of some extra inches
And it
on
also-
a clever way.
it makes a smaller space feel a little bit bigger, a little bit more open.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. Did we talk?
That's all. That was the last code item that I had, Nick. We've covered
Yeah.
everything.
I
We even
think
talked about the
covered
electrical
everything.
stuff.
We made this bathrooms
Yeah.
to be such a high topic.
Well,
Cool. It is.
again, when you're designing the finishes for your bathroom, I think the only other thing I'd mention for bathroom design is
Finishes.
create some type of mood board with your designer. Have that discussion. Is Is it going to be light? Let's confirm the ceiling height.
Say a little bit more about the mood board. What is that for people that don't know what you're talking about?
It's a quick way to put your rough thoughts on paper on. Well, Nick recommended this slightly wider, slightly deeper tub. Let's put that in the mix. So we have a Photoshop of that tub. It's there. Now, are we doing a lighted mirror? If we're going to go that route, more modern, more minimalist, then let's have an example of that. It's probably going to be a larger mirror. So we want to get these elements, maybe not as it would look in a 3D rendering, but we want to get these elements on paper, on this mood board, on this PDF, that we can see like, oh, these are the elements that are going in my bathroom.
You can
That
see
also include finishes.
Sure. Tile
So it was
selection,
like
paints,
colors.
paint swatches.
Do you want a screaming bathroom, or is it going to be more privacy bathroom, or is it going to be more?
When we put it's easy to say I want this and this and this. When you put everything together,
then you see what you actually get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see it side by side.
it's also really easy to do in comparisons of a 3D rendering because we're not building a 3D model. We're not spending the money.
You're just like putting materials next to
Yeah.
each other on this board, and it's just like, okay, this is your floor, this is your. That's actually, if people don't know, interior designers usually look this like create this like a big board when they put like a primary materials on it, and you see the relationship between materials.
And on the PDF, we can have links to those products.
Yes.
So that you can purchase it. So who's purchasing these items? Well, anybody, the contractor can, the client can. Everybody's on the same page. Well, maybe the contractor's framing out that wall. We do have that 6 feet. He's like, well, what tub are we using? I have no idea. Well, this is the tub we're using. And he can go to that sheet. He can get the dimensions. He can frame it out to those specifications. And everybody's on the same page.
So you will have like a finishes. You will have light fixture selection. Will you have a floor plan on that mood board or not?
Yeah, if we've got... So a lot of times it's like the chicken and the egg, right?
Oh, I see.
Mood board's kind of coming before we do the drawings.
Yeah, really
It's more
layout.
preliminary
But sometimes
planning.
can come later.
Sometimes it can.
Well,
Yeah.
And you can always go back and refine it and make a few swaps and or take that information and put it
Or
together
depending
with
of,
the plan.
of material availability. That's
Yeah.
another thing.
And that's
Yeah.
why I like mood boards too, because if you are, we can always hire an interior designer. We have great people at Arcfluence that can help you with that. But if they're coming in at the end of the show, we might have to modify the drawings now because that tub size could
Exactly.
change, or this vanity size could change, or this could change. So if we have a good idea of like, this is the look we're doing, now we can take that when we're laying out the plans.
And get more into the detail
Just be
through
a
the
little bit-
documents and drawings. I
a
see
little more
what you're saying.
thoughtful.
A little bit more
Yeah.
informed on the situation.
Can you quickly, just before we end, just give us a little bit more like talk us a little bit more, tell us more about like a material selections for different bathrooms. We talk about primary master suite. What materials you usually like recommend selecting there? What are you usually seeing through all this project? What materialization you see in a shared bathrooms, in Jack and Jill's, and in the powder room? You already actually covered the powder room.
Yeah,
what
you
about
talked a little bit
master
about
bedroom?
a moody powder
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Love my
Wallpaper.
moody.
You like wallpaper, right? And
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And bring the same finish that you have with the rest of the like a
The
wood
flooring,
flooring.
yeah.
Yes. What about master bathrooms?
So we still have primary bathrooms in rental properties. If we are working, so a good portion of our clients, as you know, are investors, but a lot of them aren't. We're probably 50-50 at this point. So we're choosing luxury vinyls in a lot of cases for that, especially for an investment property. And I'll tell you what, the quality for luxury vinyl has come so far the last several years that a lot of builders are using it now for $500,000-$600,000 homes. Like you're seeing it everywhere. And we just take that right into the bathroom, right? If someone's very passionate about a floor tile that they love, then I would splurge on that in the primary bathroom. But it's not always needed. I mean, because I would take that money and just make that shower experience that much better, and then just take that luxury vinyl into the bathroom. Now, if we're in an older home and maybe we pull up some carpet, we see the wood floors, we're refinishing the floors because if we have that there, that character, we're gonna keep it.
That's a winning lottery, man. If you discover the hardwood floor underneath the carpet, oh my god!
But we can't take that into the bathroom, right? Because you're getting out of the shower. even if you have a towel, a mat, you don't want to be dripping onto a wood floor.
Quick question: when they actually stop putting the carpet everywhere in American homes?
80s, 70s, 70s
No,
probably.
they were carpeting
Or
houses up
60s?
until 2000.
50.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It just even
Oh, when
going
did
over
they stop or
hardwood
when did they
floors
start?
and stuff. But it was actually like a peak. It was 80s.
When did they stop doing hardwoods?
Yeah,
Or-
when they start putting the like over hardwood floors, it was like 80s.
No.
No.
Back for you're saying when did carpeting start?
When they started actually putting the carpet everywhere, even over
Yeah.
like the hardwood
Because
floors.
before it was hardwood floors. That was
Right.
like your standard.
That was like standard in the 50s, hardwood floors.
I'd say like 20s, 30s,
Well, sure. I mean,
hardwood.
up until the 50s and 60s, I think
Maybe
hardwood was standard.
40s, 50s, it started to transition to
Then-
carpeting.
Then carpeting was like a.
Yeah, and now it's kind of coming. Yeah, I know, and
I hate
I know
carpeting.
we all
should,
don't
we
like
should
it.
Google it.
We all don't
Yeah.
like it. But I think again, it's like a pendulum, right? Design, a lot of these things will swing one way, swing the
Yeah,
other.
you're right. You're
So
right.
50s, 60s, 70s, it transitioned. It was definitely peak during those times. And then I think now it's swinging back where carpeting is less desirable.
Oh, absolutely. And we're seeing products like luxury vinyl, but a lot of people are still doing wood floors. These are usually for elevated, higher end homes. But no, it's still a great look. But with luxury vinyl looking almost identical.
Yeah.
Some of these higher, I mean, they're not cheap either.
Yeah.
It's not even about saving money. It's
Oh,
it's-
you even have like a ceramic tiles to have that wood look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
call them planks. They were actually also like a narrow and long.
Yep. But
They're just like
durability and resilience and
They are. I mean, they're more expensive,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But getting back to your question,
Mm-hmm.
I would if we're going to do luxury vinyl, which is probably
Mostly,
the most
yeah.
common that we're
Mhm.
seeing, I would take that right into the bathrooms in all cases
Mm-hmm.
because it's waterproof and it's going to be a seamless look, right?
But then you will start at if you have like a seamless shower. What are you gonna do then?
you wouldn't have a seamless shower in that
If you
particular-
are in that
Yeah,
case,
you
you will
tile
have
the
just
whole
like
bathroom.
got it.
Yeah. But if it's going up to just a shower with your floor, you have your lip, then that's where we spend the money. We do some gorgeous tile, glass door, all
Yeah.
that other stuff.
So if it's seamless shower, then you usually recommend using just tiles, and it is gonna just nicely transition. Maybe start climbing the wall as well.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Cool.
And we're doing some bathrooms where, some higher end bathrooms where everything's tiled.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole bathroom is tiled to a certain point, or at least up to like the chair rail,
Yeah.
and then goes into the shower.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
And sometimes you have this like the tile chair rail piece.
Will you have your luxury vinyl in your shared bathroom?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what are you gonna do the walls then? You do the tiles or you just paint them?
I would just do tile in the shower.
Tower.
Yep.
Okay.
And if it's the bathroom that has the tub, then I'd do a nice higher end tub and just tile the walls of the
Got it.
above the
Got
tub,
it.
and I'd go all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Only other thing I want to mention too, a lot of these things also kind of depends on where some of the plumbing, like where your main stack is located, where the water service
yeah.
is located. So if you have a project, call us out, have an on-site consultation. That's one of the things that I'll say Nick is like fantastic out. Coming out and actually mapping out, what you can do with the space, seeing it in person and really talking through, well, it makes more sense to have this bathroom here because of this. It makes more sense to have this bathroom here because of that, right? Location to the stack, location to the bedroom, whatever it is. It's like, again, that on-site consultation, I think is incredibly valuable to have.
I used
and
to
go through
limit that
everything.
to one a day at 10 a.m. And now I just opened up our calendar. So
Yeah.
now that we're
I think it's because people see the value in it.
yeah, well, we're hiring on, and I can step away from some other roles
And
hopefully
then, yeah.
completely soon. And I love doing that. A, I love doing it, and B, we have so many clients that just utilize us for that service and don't have us do architectural drawings.
Yeah.
Just
Just to give advice.
we just
Yeah.
put them on the right path. They might have a drafter that's a little bit more affordable because
Yeah.
you don't need to stamp your
Or
drawings.
they do it by
Or
themselves.
they do it by themselves.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of contractors that are actually in that camp that they'll have me come out.
When you actually touch bases on the plumbing, what do you usually see, like a PVC instead of copper, or what is the trend these days
I think it's
for a pipes?
well, for affordability, it's the PEX. Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
PAX.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Uponor PEX is probably the best.
Which is
'cause
not PVC. It's just like a more enhanced plastic.
It's
or-
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it stretches, right?
It's-
so,
uh-huh.
so you have the the pecs that you can stretch,
Mm-hmm.
and then it tightens on that thing, and then you have the other ones that clamps down and
It's just connections are much easier to execute,
and then they have shark bites too,
yeah,
so
shark bites.
those
Yeah,
are
got it.
all of that works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's people that say, oh, plastic's leaching into your
Mm-hmm.
water. I would say, I mean, my main line, I prefer, like, if you, the ground line that's coming into your
Mm-hmm.
house, they're even starting to do PEX for that. I'm still in the K-copper
K-copper world
camp.
for that. Yeah.
because your water's probably sitting there more than anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Once it comes
In the pipes. Yeah.
once it comes into the house, I mean, you're utilizing it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we're doing tankless water heaters now as a standard. Pretty soon we won't have a choice for that.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to get a recirculator. This way it'll keep the hot water moving, and we want to wait 20 seconds to get hot water.
Oh,
But-
Nino's gonna have the 2-3 hour showers then.
Yeah.
He'll never lose the hot water.
Oh yeah.
But
Turn it on. Leave
Turn it
for
on
a
and just
few-
leave it all day.
Exactly. Let's create that.
He'll come. We'll see him like
Foggy
a
and-
prune.
I do like the PEX too, because if you're doing, like, even cabins that we're building out in Hawking, like they're a little bit more forgiving to the elements in terms of maintenance, and they're cheaper to work on, they're cheaper to install, and they have a little bit more flexibility and forgiveness to the
Yeah.
elements when you get extreme cold, extreme
Oh,
hot.
jeez, we didn't have a time to talk about faucets and all. There's like a tons of stuff that we can keep
I mean, we
talking
could
on.
keep going and going and
Yeah,
going.
maybe we're gonna have like a bathrooms session number
We can,
two.
we can do a
Fixtures.
follow up.
Fixtures,
Just
yeah.
talking about
Episode.
fixtures alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be kitchens, baths,
Exactly.
all the things. All right. Well,
Well,
this is a good
yeah.
place to stop.
It is.
Oh, guys, we're going to wrap it up right there. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comments below. I'm going to work with Danny. I mention Danny all the time. If you guys don't know, Danny is our amazing producer.
He was on the AI talk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was. And we're going to get him on another episode, too. But we're going to do probably a one-sheeter for bathroom design as well. Try to get into the habit of just doing, here's some tips and bullet points for the discussion of the day. But with that said, we are going to see you in 2 weeks for episode 11.
11.
This has been the Arcfluence podcast. As always, you can get more information and additional content on arcfluence.com. Please subscribe on the platform of your choice and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you.